This video is sponsored by Escape from Site-19. Escape from Site-19 is a role-playing board game that caters towards only the hardcore SCP fans who want an immersive SCP experience that pushes you to new extremes. After several years of development and refinement, the SCP fans who made this game have now made it available to you. Progress around the board as a random group of interest operative or SCP member completing increasingly harder challenges and facing off against hundreds of bloodthirsty SCPs. Use the special cost to help you escape and use the authorization keys to unlock bonuses. Work as a team and fight to the end to face off against a random SCP-001. Beat the SCP-001 to win the game. Fail too many challenges, however, and you will be sealed inside the lockdown. Be warned, this is not by any means an easy or a typical board game. There will be challenges that will push you far outside your comfort zone. Ask yourselves, how far would you go to escape from Site-19? Pre-order your game using the link below and receive a 20% discount. Good day everyone and welcome back to SCP Illustrated, entry log 125. When Daybreak is taking a while and I detest going long periods of time without a video, so today we're taking a look at another old Patreon video, namely SCP-034, also known as the Obsidian Ritual Knife. This is a safe class SCP and this video does contain scenes of mutilation, flaying and blood. Be sure to like and subscribe for more SCP content, and without further ado, let's begin. The following data release has been authorized by the following council members and administration staff. Medical report. Patient. Attending, Dr. Injury sustained.
The patient has sustained severe injuries to the right arm starting at the shoulder joint and extending all the way to the bottom of the radius. The entire hand has been removed and cauterized to reduce blood loss and infection. The rest of the arm has had the skin removed almost in its entirety. The epidermis, dermis, and a considerable amount of the hypodermis are absent from the patient's right arm. However, major veins and arteries are intact. This indicates that instead of all the skin being taken at once, it was cut away crudely in pieces over an extended period of time.
Recovery details.
The arm will be amputated at the shoulder joint. The possibility of fitting a prototype robotic arm is being discussed with the seniors and Dr.
Description. SCP-034 is a primitive knife constructed out of pure obsidian. Tests reveal that SCP-034 is approximately 1,000 years old. Despite its crude method of construction and age, SCP-034 is still incredibly sharp and requires no maintenance at all. Expert analysis hypothesizes that SCP-034 may be of South American origin and that it was used in Native American rituals. Several accounts from Spanish conquistadors exploring the region support this hypothesis, with detailed writings on how priests would flay their victims alive with similar knives and wear their skin as a tribute to their gods. SCP-034 has the ability to allow its bearer to take on the appearance of another individual. If SCP-034 is used to cut a piece of flesh from a living individual, and that piece of flesh is placed against the skin of another individual, the second individual would take on not only the appearance, but all physical characteristics of the first individual. Testing has shown that the minimum amount of skin required can be as little as 1 square centimeter. However, testing has also revealed that the amount of time the facade lasts is directly proportional to the amount of flesh used. The ratio of time the facade lasts to flesh used has been measured at approximately 1 hour for every square centimeter. Once the time limit has passed, the affected individual will revert to their original form. Analysis of SCP-034's ability shows that its method of mimicking another's individual is nearly flawless. Not only does SCP-034 change physical appearance, but actual physical attributes as well, including height, weight, muscle mass, bone density, hair growth, eyesight, strength, physical medical conditions, and even DNA. Subjects still retain their original personality and memories, Even though the process is nearly instantaneous, taking only a few seconds, human test subjects have described the transformation process as extremely painful. Subjects also may suffer psychological trauma, depending on the extent of their physical transformation. Side effects are especially serious if the subject takes on the appearance of a person with differing gender or with wildly different physical attributes. However, in order to function properly, the individuals who have had their flesh cut off by SCP-034 must still be biologically alive to maintain the facade. Should the individual whose identity has been stolen expire, the effect immediately wears off. Further details may be found in Lab Report 034 Alpha. Also, SCP-034 only appears to work on human subjects. Cross-species experiments with SCP-034 have resulted in SCP-034 came into Foundation possession when an imposter disguised as Dr. attempted to infiltrate Site. The imposter was apprehended when authorities discovered the real Dr. tied up in his home with a large portion of his right arm skinned. Further details may be found in Post-Interrogation Report 2211. Post-Interrogation Report 2211. As per standard operating procedure, we first attempted to interrogate the prisoner via non-violent and non-invasive means. However, when such methods proved ineffective, we began to implement conventional interrogation techniques. While partially successful, we deemed it necessary to use SCP, and SCP. We managed to learn the following facts. The prisoner had extensive knowledge on the existence of the Foundation and its inner workings. The prisoner had extensive knowledge on other SCP-related agencies and groups. The prisoner was not acting under any official capacity from any government agency. The prisoner obtained SCP-034 and instructions on its operation from an unknown benefactor. The prisoner was given very specific instructions to infiltrate sites and maintain his position until further notice. The prisoner had enough samples of to stay within sight for 20 days. Regrettably, the prisoner did not survive interrogation. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-034 is to be kept in a secure room with access granted only to Level 4 personnel. SCP-034 itself will be kept in a locked case that is under 24-hour surveillance. When not in lab conditions, SCP-034's protective sheath cannot be removed under any circumstances. Any personnel in contact with SCP-034 must be placed under a 24-hour observation period until their identities can be confirmed. Lab Report 034 Alpha. We've decided to test several scenarios dealing with the limits of SCP-034's capabilities. Test 1. Sample taken from deceased human cadaver and applied to subject D452. No effect. Test 2. Sample taken from D532 and applied to D452. D452 successfully mimics D532's appearance. Upon termination of D532, D452 immediately reverts back to the original form. Test 3. Sample taken from a brain-dead medical patient and applied to subject D452. D452 successfully mimics the patient's appearance and manages to maintain the facade. Test 4. Sample taken from a terminally ill medical patient and applied to subject D452. The patient's terminal illness was caused by an inherent genetic defect. D452 successfully mimics the patient's appearance, as well as the patient's illness. Both the terminally ill patient and D452 expire at the same time, after which D452 reverts back to the original form. Test 5. And that concludes SCP-034. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did. Next time it will be the next When Day Breaks. Make sure you are following all of the social media outlets so you can stay updated on when that video is coming out and to receive updates on its progress. If you fancy some cool posters, then check out the SCP Illustrated shop, you can find the link below. And if you can't wait days and weeks for more of my content, then consider supporting the channel on Patreon, Subscribestar, or becoming a channel member. You'll get early video access, see all the sketches early, get Discord access, request your own sketches, get your name in all the videos, and so much more. And thank you to Generals Alert, Rick Trexon, Sam B, Andres, Horizons, Jax Merrick, Alexander, Number of the East, Dr. Soup, and Rashad. Big thanks to the council members Kibara, Lenhox, Captain Core, Hunter Killer, Arctoast and Arctos, Shadow, Romulus and the Commissar, and huge thanks to the administrators Kamana, Viger, Mr. Elsewhere, and Gilbert. Thank you all for watching, I will see you all soon, and take care.